Support Pro Play Games on Patreon.
How's it going, guys? Brito here, bringing you another deck profile, and this time around it's going to be Beelstar. I'm a big fan of the Beelstar deck. I've been playing it since I first started playing back in BT6, and decided to revisit it after some hiatus of playing her. So I think you'll enjoy this deck profile, mainly because I have a lot of interesting tech choices in here that's catered to our local meta, because our local meta is still playing very, very aggressive decks, like let's say Crossheart and D-Brigade. And I think you'll be interested to see some of the textures I decided to have to help out those matchups. So without further ado, let's get into it. So to start off, we run the 4 on deletion Gobus, the inheritables, draw 2, trash 1. Actually, let's get into my eggs first. Hold on. So yeah, we run this Gobu, and then I run 4 of the Demi-Meramon eggs, the draw 1 trash ones, and 1 of the Pogumon. When attacking, trash card from your hands to gain 1000 DP. Ideally, this guy's here mainly to trash the options. So yeah, we got those. We got the 4 Gabumons on deletion, draw 2, trash 1. So you usually want to get those under your scatters. Then I run 2 Psychmon. I honestly want to run 3, but I just don't have space in this list. Even though it's kind of a double-edged sword, because both players can reduce play costs. He kind of stops you from playing Beelstar. This is mainly here for both the mirrors and any Digicross deck, like let's say Blue Flare or Cross Arts. We have 1 Ghazi. There's not too many decks in our locals, like any other purple decks that gain memory and such, like, or any other blue deck, so I usually just run this out as a 1-of just in case. It does come up in Bloomlord, but for the most part, Bloomlord is an easy matchup because you just pop their board before they can even get into Bloom. 1 Dracmon, kind of a necessary evil, because even though it's a 3 cost and it's kind of expensive to play in some decks, in some plays, you use this to recur your either Calling from the Darkness or Deathclaw. 1 Elecmon to try to help out, take out those floodgates. Like if your opponent plays a Psychmon, boom, this is what you use to take it out. Another kind of standard card for the list is Sistermon Blanc. Simply speak, on play, draw trash 1 card from your hand in order to draw 2. And now for somewhat of a spice tech, I run 1 Sistermon Blanc Awakens. So the idea is to try to get the regular Blanc on play effect as early as you can to try to help cycle, and then eventually later on in the game, if you need the healing, you have this on play. You oftentimes pass turn with this, but it's kind of worth it to just get that 1 extra heal and hope that one of your kill spells ends up in security. So yeah, on play, you may place 1 Sistermon Blanc from your hand or trash underneath Sistermon Blanc Awakened in order to recover 1. So yeah, it's actually a very interesting tech to actually heal in Beelstar. Now for our champions, the standard Eismon Scatter Mode, draw 3 on deletion, draw 3, trash 2. When you get the God stack of Demimera and Gabumon, you just cycle for days. Then for these, I kind of like these ratios, so I run 3 Vilemon and then 1 Promote. Oftentimes I try to balance out depending on what's in my locals. So if there's very aggressive decks like how there is now, I usually play 3 Vilemon and then 1 Promote. Then when there's a little bit more mid-range decks, what I tend to do is try to change up the ratio, do a 2-2 split. But yeah, currently I'm doing a 3-1 split, and depending on your locals, depends on if they're doing mid-range or fast pace, you want to change up this ratio as well. And then for the last level 4, 1 Doberman. He's mainly here to help me recur certain Digimon. Like let's say if there's a Beelstar in trash and I want her in hand, you use Doberman to get into hand. But yeah, this most of the time is to cycle cards into your trash. Oftentimes I swing, it dies, and I end up trashing 3 of my 7 cost options, which is super plus. That's it for level 4s. I run no level 5s in this list. And now for the level 6s, Beelstar for Beelstar. For those of you that don't know what she does, is for every 7 cost option and 3 musketeer in the trash, she gets reduced. Her play cost gets reduced by 1, and her on play is you get to pick a 7 cost option from the trash, return it to your hand, and then play a 7 cost option for free. So oftentimes she's used to either control or spam your board to get aggressive. So we're in 4 Beelstars, kind of a must-have in a Beelstar deck. And then I only run 1 level 7, and it's not Death X. It is 1 Zwart Defeat. I kind of want to run 2. I want to find the space for it, but I simply just can't. Zwart Defeat is really, really good, mainly for any tamer-reliant decks. Even though I want to run more, 1 well-timed Zwart Defeat can absolutely cripple Crosshearts. Its security effect is also pretty bomb. Play this card without battling, without paying its play cost, and then it's on deletion effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. So yeah, it's really, it actually came up one time when I was playing against a Gallantmon deck. I ended up evoing into him, and it kind of stopped my opponent from doing like a Gallantmon X play, because when Digivolving, delete your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. So as soon as he would evo into Gallantmon X, he'd pop Zwart Defeat would pop him back. So oftentimes this could also be a very, very good defensive play. Alright, and now it's time to get into the options. 4 Fly Bullets, kind of standard. 3 Nail Bones. You don't want to run less than 3 Nail Bones. I found that when you run 2, you just simply don't see them when you absolutely need to. 1 Happy Bullet Showering, 1 Jawal Swarmer. You really don't, like, as good as this card can be, you really don't want more than 1 of them in your list. Once you start hitting 2 and they start getting hidden security and they just add to hand, it's super, super neg. Next options are 4 Cocytus. Simply one of the best 7 cost options right now to get around a lot of the protection. But still, in this day and age, we still have protection from bounce. 1 Plasma Decorager Launcher, mainly in security. It does the same thing as Cocytus, but what I really like about this one is that when you can play it from their hand, as long as you have the blue source and your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, you get to reduce the play cost by 2, so you can play it for 5. So oftentimes, actually, there has been a bunch of times where I just hard play this, and it's not neg at all. For the last 7 cost option, I play 1 Howling Crusher, and this is mainly for the Crossheart and War Grey matchups. Both of them are still running around in my locals. Yeah, its main effect is trash all your opponent's Digivolution sources from all their Digimon. Pretty broken. Pretty broken in the right time. Alright. Then for the last 2 options, 1 of Calling, 1 of Deathclaw. So yeah, Calling just to recur Digimon, and then Deathclaw to help take out those floodgates. And now lastly, for the Tamers, I run 2 Kiroshiro, Memory Fixer, as well as Blue Source. Its secondary effect is actually pretty cool too, that when you're attacking with the Digimon that either has Jellymon in its name or is a level 5 or higher and you have 7 or less cards, you get to draw a card. When you swing, you tap this to draw a card. So when you're in mid-game and you don't have 7 cards, when you don't have 8 cards in hand, you have less, and you swing with Beelstar, this is actually pretty plus to draw cards. A lot of people forget about that, but as long as you don't, you can still plus off this. The other Blue Source Tamer I run is Mats and Sora. A lot of other people don't really like this card because it's simply, oftentimes you don't get memory from yourself because you're hard playing stuff so often that you don't have the 8 cards in hand. With this list, when I show you the next Tamers, I will absolutely have 8 cards in hand. Early game. Really, really good card to help you gain memory, and it's a blue source. The red source doesn't really come up, but still, blue source, memory gain. Late game, as long as I have both of these on the field, I easily go to 5. And then for the last Tamers, I run 1 Analog Youth. I used to run him at 2, but I cut him down to 1 in order to fit the next Tamers. This is one of the spiciest of the spice in my deck. Digimon Emperor. Most people forget what he does, so I'll go ahead and explain it to you. All turns, when one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this tamer to draw a card. And then on the opponent's turn, which is what ends up plussing me a lot against the Cross Hearts, is when one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon is moved from the breeding area to their battle area, gain 2 memory. So oftentimes this has come up a lot in Cross Hearts and hybrid decks. In hybrids, they usually run let's say the Guilmon package, where it's just like their level 3s that they don't evo on top of, they just promote, swing, draw to. You have 2 or 3 of these guys out, it stops them entirely from promoting, because as soon as they promote, they literally just pass turn and it's super negs on them. So this card has stopped people a lot from raising and from doing kind of neg plays like Cross Hearts. They tend not to want to evo in the back. Digimon Emperor kind of forces them to, or else they just never promote. What also really helps out in this deck is that whenever level 5 or lower gets deleted and you draw a card, you can tap this to draw a card. It helps a lot because it helps you get to that 8 card threshold to gain memory off the Madden Sora. So this card has come in clutch so many times in my locals. I've topped so much with in our locals in the recent weeks, and I absolutely give credit to Digimon Emperor for that. Alright, let me know what you guys think of that in the comments. Stay topping.